on YouTube. So today I'm actually going to go ahead and work on EP3. Got a new video out. Really what I'm going to be focusing on today is going to be the this right here. We're using, I think it's called Bull Boost. So this is a block off plate for the idle control valve that's underneath the throttle body. Some people actually bypass it by removing the hoses, the cooling hoses that go underneath it. Really, it's just to clean up the engine bay. Unless you live in up north where it gets really cold. I live here in South Florida. As you can see, I'm sweating. It's humid as hell. I don't need it. It cleans it up a little bit better by removing it. And also, the only thing you really got to worry about is adjusting the throttle with the Allen key, and also go on KPro and disabling the idle air control valve. Also, it makes it easier just to remove the throttle body. You don't got to worry about the coolant hoses and whatnot. So I didn't see any good videos. There used to be one, but I didn't see any good videos going step by step on how to do this. Not only installing the block off plate, but also going on KPro and disabling it, what parameters you gotta look out for, and then uploading it. So I'm gonna try to do this in one shot with this heat. So bear with me. So first things first, as you can see, we're gonna work on removing the hose. This is taking off the clips for the sensors, the map sensor, the I think that's the TPS sensor right here, and then go from there. Hopefully the only thing I ever get to take off is just this, and I can reach all the bolts to it. It's a really tight fit. Alright, so I had a time lapse set up. I didn't press record, but I got the throttle body out. It took like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, not even. This is even taking my time. But yeah, so with the throttle body off, this is what we're gonna be blocking off. This part right here. We won't need a sensor anymore, so we don't have to worry about hooking that up later. Probably gotta figure out how to deal with that plug. But we're removing this off, blocking it off, getting rid of the ports that we don't really need. It's capped off for now, but the other day I was driving and I noticed a check engine light came on. I can't remember the actual code for the engine, for the check engine light. I'll post it up in the bottom, but basically it was the code for you're running lean. So I looked at my phone. It's hooked up Bluetooth through KPro, and you know, that's how it told me it was like running lean. So I checked on EPH Facebook group and a couple other forums just to get an idea of what could it be. And I kind of drilled down to the point that I capped these off, but I never disabled it on KPro. And it could be the reason why I had that running lean situation. I actually posted up a video on the Facebook group with every time I let my foot off the gas, it kind of go all the way to max and back down to -3, and then it stabilizes at 14.7 around there. But yeah, it kind of got me worried because I never had a check engine light before, and I'm pretty sure I was running lean for the most part. So gonna do it right, block it off, disable it in KPro, adjust the throttle body, which is this little, I don't know if you can see it. It's like a little tiny Allen key bolt that you gotta adjust. I'm gonna try to get it. I got big hands. I'm gonna see if I can get this. I didn't have any issues until the other time that check engine light came out. I cleared it, never came back on, but I'd rather just take care of this now and not have an issue or worry about me running lean maybe, and make sure that the KPro is actually getting the fuel mixture right, instead of causing problems later on. So bear with me. I'm gonna go ahead and install it, and I'll get back to you. So I installed it. The company is actually from Bull Boost Performance. I'll put a link down where I got it from. As you can see, it's just two Allen head bolts. Make sure you reuse the gasket from the idle air control valve. Leave it in there. Clean it if it's dirty. I actually cleaned this throttle body not too long ago. Everything with brake cleaner. When I was cleaning this out because it gave me an error code. This is another reason why I did it. I was constantly getting error codes like a year, 2 years into it. Removed it. I don't have to worry about this anymore. So as you can see, bull boost. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on and see how it goes from there. All right, so now I just put it back, everything connected minus the sensor for the idle air control valve that I didn't need to go back in since I removed it. So now what I'm gonna do is go on KPro, set it up to where I'm disabling it on KPro, and then upload the tune to the EP3. All right, so just started uploading the updated tune to KPro. Got it connected to the USB. Let's connect this to the ECU. I had some issue with the USB not recognizing it, and the issue was that adapter I bought. It was like a pass-through USB-C to USB-C. I removed it and just plugged it in with an adapter, and then it works. But yeah, so basically what I did is I went into, I'll tell you right now, as soon as it finishes up uploading and saving calibrations. All right, good. So what I did is if you go to idle right here, disable idle valve. I also went ahead, went into throttle, and then read in my min and my maximum just to make sure everything is good. So now that everything is connected, let's start it. Okay, let's go to, this is very low, very, very low. Hey, how you doing, guys? So if you notice, it's been a couple of days now, actually a week since I started doing the block off plate. I ran into a couple of issues. This is my first time doing this. It's a learning process, and I wanted to document everything that could possibly go wrong, and I went through a lot of those issues. But just to kind of give a step-by-step, if you do want to do this, if you are going to do the block off plate, you are going to delete the idle air control valve. At least you got a good documentation, or at least step-by-step how to do it properly. Now, mind you, the reason why I did this is, first of all, I live in South Florida. I don't really worry about the climate as far as like if it gets too cold, because I know a lot of, at least from what I've read online, if you live in cold climates like up north, when it gets cold, you're gonna have issues with idle when you remove this. Now, since I live in South Florida and really don't get below 55 at most on the coldest day of the year, I'm not worried about that. So I got tired of dealing with the surging issues with this idle air control valve that happens every once in a while within a year or so, give or take. And I had to take everything apart, clean it, clean the throttle body, and then put everything back together and dealing with the cooling lines. I was like, you know what, screw this. I went ahead, connected the cooler lines together using a fitting. So I didn't remove it. So if I wanted to go back, I could go back. That's one thing I do advise. If you're going to do this, do it in a way where you can reverse everything back. So I went ahead and connected the coolant lines together using the fitting, and then capped off the idle air control valve. And I ran it like that for a few months. Didn't have any issues. Then one day I was driving, I noticed I had a check engine light. Ran the code on the phone app from KPro, and it said I was running lean. I checked my air fuel ratio gauge, and it was going kind of crazy. So I did post it up on the Facebook group. Based on people said, like, hey, if you did cap off the idle air control valve like the way you did, it's gonna throw issues. Like, you're gonna have issues with it, so you need to block it off. So I bought a block off plate, went ahead and installed it. And when you do this, you have to go in KPro and disable it. So the issue I ran into, a little while ago when you see the last video, my idle is really, really low. Now, of course, this is documented online, where since this is going to be really low, you have to adjust the set screw. And it's kind of hard to decipher which way to do things. I did it wrong. So originally it was said that you have to go on the set screw underneath the throttle cable. I'm going to post a picture of what I'm talking about in a little bit right here. But basically what you're trying to do is, if you go counterclockwise, it should raise the idle. Clockwise lowers the idle. So I'm here going counterclockwise. I hear no difference at all. What I did is I actually stuck an Allen key in the little set screw, and that way I hold it in place as I put the throttle body back in, because it's hard to get to it. Like for me, I had to keep removing the throttle body off and adjust the set screw and put it back on to see where I'm at, because there was no way I could fit my big hands in that small little space. So I adjusted it. I went counterclockwise, and I hear no issues. I mean, no changes. It was still low. So I'm like, what's going on? Maybe I have to adjust the throttle cable. Do not touch your throttle cable. I touched the throttle cable, try to raise the idle. I got it probably around 700-ish RPMs, close to 800 RPMs. But the moment I put the AC on, it drops like 300. It was ridiculous. I was like, there's something wrong. So I reached out to a couple of people, some of my friends. They're like, no. Put the throttle cable back the way it was, as close as you could get it. Use a set screw. I explained to them what I did with the set screw. They're like, no, there's a locking nut that you gotta go counterclockwise to loosen it, but then you set the set screw clockwise to raise the idle. So that's what I did. Took the throttle body off, loosened the lock nut with, I think it was like a 7mm, if I remember right. The Allen key I used was a 2.5mm Allen key head, and that fit into a little set screw. So I loosened it, then I tightened it. I did like half a turn. He told me don't go more than a quarter turn, maybe half a turn, test it, see where it's at, and then go by there. So I did half a turn, and then put everything back together. It raised the idle a lot better. I got it all the way to probably around 850, 900 RPMs, AC off. Turn on the AC, drops it down to like 500, 600. So kept doing it. I got it to like around, I think it was 1,000, around 1,000 RPMs without the AC. And when I turn the AC, it's fluctuating around 600 RPMs. At that point, if you're good with that, okay, you're good. That's it. That's all you needed to do. Make sure you disabled it in KPro. Now, I didn't feel comfortable with that. So what I ended up doing is, if you could find a tuner that could help, just set the idle. I got somebody to do it. And what he did was, I set the idle I wanted with the AC on the set screw. So I got it to where it was idling with the AC on around 800-ish, 850 with the AC on, adjusting the set screw underneath the throttle body cable. Then, of course, when you turn off the AC, it's like 1,300, 1,400 around there. Then what he did is he got onto KPro and then lowered the idle down to about 1,000 RPMs, 900, like 980 to 1,000 RPMs with the AC off. At that point, you're good. That's it. That's all you need to do. But just remember, if you're gonna do this, block off plate, disable in KPro, use the set screw to raise the idle when you need to. So counterclockwise to unlock the locking nut, clockwise to raise the idle. I suggest do it if you live in a place like me, in South Florida, where you run the AC all the time, set it with the AC on, so that way you could get a better RPM on the car. But then go to a tuner, and they could do it. It's not hard. He took like maybe like 30 minutes at most to get it done. And that's with me taking the throttle body off. This is during my lunch break, and dealing with that. He did it really quickly. But to lower the idle with the AC off, and that was it. Going through this process, would I have done it if I knew everything that went into it? No, I would not. Unless my idle air control valve was completely trashed, I think I would have left everything as is. But hey, it is what it is. Let's see how it goes. Now, the only issue I see now is I do get a check engine light. It's a P0505. It's for the idle air control valve, and I disabled it in KPro. The only thing you could do is just clear the code every time you try. It usually happens when I start a car. Once I clear it and I'm driving over, you don't see it again. But when I start a car, it comes up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to plug in the idle air control valve on the cable itself, and probably like zip tie somewhere there. I just want to see if that check engine light comes out again, because it is disabled on KPro. So my theory is maybe that connection, it's not something there. It's not getting a good connection. I don't know. I'm gonna try it, see what it does. If it doesn't come back, I'll make a follow-up like YouTube short on it and be like, hey, if you don't want to see the check engine light and you're tired of clearing it every time you start your car, just connect this real quick. Maybe there's a better way of doing it than just leaving it in there tied up. I'm gonna zip tie it somewhere. But yeah, this is the only way to do it. I suggest, if you live up north, don't do this unless this is like your track car. Don't do this for your daily driver. But if you live in the hot climate area where it doesn't really get cold and you're tired of this idle surging, and constantly going in there and taking everything apart to clean everything out with brake cleaner and put everything back together, and then it happens again later on, like it's a common issue. Like, you go online, type in K series idle air control valve issues, there's so many issues. Everybody constantly has this issue. So if you are going to do it like this. Put the coolant lines using a barb fitting, clamp down on each other. That way you can always reverse it back. Don't remove the coolant lines. Remove the idle air control valve. Get a block off plate. I got one from Bull Boost Performance. I think it was like $20. It wasn't that expensive. Put the block off plate. Keep the gasket in there that was in there originally for the idle air control valve. And then once you put the block off plate, put the AC on, and then start using your set screw. Unlock the locking nut and start turning clockwise, quarter turns to half a turns at most, to raise the idle until you get it to where you want it. Then take it to a tuner so that way they could adjust, unless you know how to adjust it on KPro, on K-Manager, to adjust the idle with the AC off, and you're good to go. Like I said, the only issue I have right now is that check engine light. It's literally check engine light for the valve that I just removed, which I don't understand why is it throwing it off. I can't find anything that explains that other than the fact that people asking me why I removed it in the first place. I removed it because this is the issue I was having. That's why I removed it. Like, if I'm asking for help, like, don't question why I do things. I mean, I guess you could question it, but then don't ridicule a person because they're doing it a certain way. Like, if you're not gonna help, then don't speak on it or demean them or anything. That's the only thing I got annoyed with the whole getting on Facebook, on the Facebook group or the forums, whatever, when they just ridicule people. Like, no, like, educate them. They might have a reason that you don't know, and that's it. Like, I know what the issue is. The idle air control valve controls the idle and also heats up the throttle body to warm up when you first start the car, especially in colder climates. I don't live in colder climates, so I didn't care about that. Right now the car is running perfectly fine, other than that check engine code, but other than that, it's running smooth. So this is how I did it, and I hope you find it helpful. If you have any suggestions or any comments, Just leave it down below. Like, subscribe, you know the beat. I think the next video after dealing with this, I found out that I got battery light on. My battery, when, what was it, it was at 13.8. You turn on the lights, I turn on my fog lights, it's literally going like low 13s, high 12s. And my brother-in-law, who's a mechanic, was like, yeah, I think your alternator's going. And I've been having the check engine light for a while. I've been at the check engine light, the battery light for a while. So now I got to replace the alternator. So I might make a video on how to do it. I saw a couple ideas of how to do it quickly without taking the intake manifold off. So I'm probably going to do a video on that. The only issue is the alternator is from AutoZone. We all know that 90% of the time you replace the Honda alternator, especially on an EP3 or an RSX, you replace it with an AutoZone or anything other than OEM, you're gonna have the same battery light. It's stupid. But what I'm gonna do is, regardless of the battery light, I'm just gonna focus on the voltage coming in, and if I'm getting good voltage with the AC on, with the fog lights on, and with my headlights on, and I'm not dipping to the 12s, I'm still staying within the 13 and a half or so and up, I don't care about the light. If anything, I'll just remove the light bulb behind the dash, because as long as the alternator is doing its thing, I don't care. But that's probably a future video. So like I said, if you like the video, please leave a comment, any suggestions, subscribe. Thank you for showing up, man. And it's a learning process. It's a learning process. I love it. All right, peace.